everyone. Today we're doing multiplying decimals, and so we're going to start with just a warm-up. Remember to pause at certain points and to try to attempt to do these on your own and then check your work. So the warm-up says a scientist needs to create a chemical experiment. They have 3 46/100 milliliters of their first ingredient and 8 9/10 milliliters of another ingredient. How many milliliters of ingredients do they have total? And the other one says, Mrs. Evergreen was given $300 from sponsors, but then had to buy more arrows for $89.73. How much money does she have left? So go ahead and pause and work these out. Okay, so on the first one, finding a total means that we're going to be adding here. Make sure when you are adding and subtracting decimals that you line up your decimals. So this would be 3 46/100 plus 8 9/10. If you notice, I turned it to 90/100 and then added them together, which gets me 12 36/100 milliliters together. Then this, the second one was subtraction because she had this money, but then she had to buy something. When you have to buy something, that takes it away, or subtraction. Make sure once again you line up your decimals. $300.00. So if you notice, I added a decimal and 2 zeros, and you would end up with $210.27. Okay, so this is what we're doing today, multiplying decimals. If you notice, it says forget about the decimal points and just multiply. So when you're multiplying, you do not line up the decimals. Okay, you do not when you are multiplying. You just multiply as if the decimals are not even there. Okay, and then you count how many are in each factor. So in the first number, there's 2 decimal places. In the second number, there's 1. So total, if you notice down here, that's 3 decimal places. So 1, 2, 3. And that would make sense because 13 times 5 is about 65. I think that's 65. 15, yeah, 65. So 75 would make that would be about right. Okay, so let's do some example problems. Ronan swims at an average speed of 3,500 miles per hour. So per means for 1 hour. So that's 1. So in 1 hour, he can swim this many miles. What distance will Ronan swim in 0.8 hours? So what this is saying is, okay, it's not just 1 hour, it's not even 1 whole hour. So if you were thinking about this, every time that you have miles per hour, you would sit there and say, okay, there's this many miles, and then you would multiply it by how many hours it is. Well, this isn't even 1 whole hour, so this is just going to be 3,500 times 8/10. And if you notice, I did not put my decimals lined up. That's how it's supposed to be. 8 times 5 is 40, carry my 4. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 4 is 28. And then I have 1, 2 decimal places, and then 1. So that's 2 and then 3. So then I put 1, 2, 3 back in. So what distance will he swim in 0.8 miles? He's going to swim 28/100 of a mile. Okay, and you know this is true because it says that he would swim 3,500 of a mile in 1 hour. Well, this isn't a whole hour, so it has to be less than that. Okay, so there's going to be a couple of practice problems on the next slides. So I'm going to pause this, and you need to pause this as well and get to doing some work, and then you can check your answers. So I want you to go ahead and check your answers here. Make sure your decimal places are in the right spots. That's like the biggest thing, is your decimal places. I know that it can be hard to write on the screen because obviously I had issues with it too. Just a big thing to remember, you can always work it out on paper and things like that, okay? But Okay, so let's go into, we have 3 more problems. Ryan went to the Party City to buy party favors to give out to his birthday party. He bought 15 football erasers and they were 75 cents each. So how much did he pay for all of those erasers? So that means that if you have that keyword each, we know that we have a part and a part. They're looking for a total amount that he has to pay. So all we're doing here is multiplying. It doesn't matter if you put 15 or 75 hundredths on top. It doesn't matter. So 5 times 5 is 25. Carry my 2. 5 times 7 is 35. Plus 2 is 37. Put my 3 up here. 5 times 0 is 0 plus 3. Now we add that 0 for place value. I'm going to cross out these things. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 7 is 7. And then I don't have to do 1 times 0 because I know it's 0. And then we just add. So this would be 5, 12, carry my 1, 10, and 11. And then we go, okay, how many decimal places is it? 1, 2. 1, 2. So it cost $11.25. Then you ask yourself, does that seem reasonable? 75 cents each, so that's not even a whole dollar. So if there's 15 of them, it should be less than $15, and that's true. So our answer is reasonable. Okay, it says Micah runs for 2.5 hours. How many total minutes did he run? Well, that means you have to actually know that 1 hour equals 60 minutes. That's the first thing you have to know. So I had some people tell me in previous years that they said, okay, well, if it's 60 minutes each hour, that's 60 plus 60. And then they did half. And they said 60 plus 60 plus 30. That is perfectly fine. I love that kind of math. I also want to show it to you in multiplying, just so that we are super, super clear on the multiplication part. But I love that kind of stuff. So hopefully you're just kind of following along with me. 12, 15. And if I need to move the decimal 1 time, I end up with 150 minutes. Now I told you that some people were saying, okay, well, I know it's 2 hours. So that's 60 plus 60. Plus half of an hour, which would be 30. If you notice, that still also gets me 150 minutes. So same answer, totally good. There's always a lot of different ways to get to the same answer in math. It's a beautiful thing. Nicholas earns $8.50 per hour. Remember, this means 1. Remember, that means 1. So he earns $8.50 for 1 hour working at his hometown movie theater. Last week, he was able to work 11 hours. So how much was his paycheck? So that's a total. So they're giving us a part. It's $8.50 per 1 hour. Then they give us the hours. So all they're asking us to do here is multiply this out. So 1 times 0, 1 times 5 is 5, and 1 times 8 is 8. Add my little 0 for place value. 1 times 0 is 0, 1 times 5 is 5, and 1 times 8 is 8. And then you add those together. 0, 5, 13, and 9. And I have to move the decimal 1, 2. So 1, 2. So he should be earning about, that is supposed to be a $sign, but my computer got a little laggy. He should be earning $93.50. And that makes sense because he should be earning greater than 8 times 11, which is $88. So because there's that extra 50 cents. So what I want to be very clear about here is that multiplying decimals, once again, you do not line up the decimals, you just multiply as if they're not there, and then you can just add those back in the very end. Because you're saying This is the 100th place, this is the 10th place. So it's saying you need to move into the thousands because there's 3 of them. Okay, so if you need any help, please feel free to ask. Also, we have a weekly assignment this time around. It's on Canvas. Please take your time. You only have 2 attempts to get your highest score. So please be careful and have a great day.